At the end of a long workday, you know the drill. You've spent hours making decisions, solving problems, running from meeting to meeting. By the time you walk through the door, all your brain wants is nothing. Total zone out. Netflix, a snack, maybe some scrolling on your phone. Why is it that after a big day of thinking, all you want to do is turn off your brain? Well, it turns out it's not just because your job is tough. Our brains actually use different types of attention. There's voluntary attention, the focused kind you use at work, tackling email or brainstorming. And then there's involuntary attention, which kicks in when you're chilling out, like watching clouds drift by or listening to birds sing. The first one depletes your brain battery. The second is more like plugging yourself in to recharge. And what does science show as one of the best places to recharge your brain battery? Nature. In this video, let's talk about attention restoration theory, or ART, that was developed by psychologists Rachel and Stephen Kaplan. These researchers spent decades studying how experiencing nature helps people recover from all that brain-draining work. In today's world, our daily lives are packed with technology and nonstop information, and with the advent of remote work, it becomes even more difficult for us to know when to rest. Pre-modern humans had a different work-life reality. When the sun went down, it was quittin' time, like it or not. When we're at work, our brains run on what's called executive attention, a fancy term for a complex set of mental functions like goal setting, brainstorming, and fending off distractions. But this type of attention is limited, and when we run low, we don't perform at our best. We aren't as creative, we can't focus as well, we make more mistakes, and planning becomes difficult. Art says that when we spend time in nature, it lets our overworked brains take a break. We slide into autopilot, letting our minds relax without having to solve anything. The Kaplans developed their theory after decades of research. Their lab studies evolved into real-life experiments in the wilderness, like Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Through their experiments, they identified 4 must-haves for true brain restoration. The first is being away. For true brain rest, it's important to step outside our everyday environment. Next, extent. Not only do we need a new place, we need the place to feel like a whole new world, big enough that we feel that we're just a small part of a much larger whole. Also, fascination. The environment's got to be interesting enough to hold our attention, but not so complicated that we have to problem solve to exist there comfortably. And lastly, compatibility. The environment should match the activity we want to do, should be easy to navigate, and we need to feel safe there and free of distractions. Now let's be clear. The Kaplans aren't claiming that nature is the only setting for restoration, nor do they mean that all nature is restful all the time. Anyone who's been attacked by mosquitoes knows that. Art isn't saying that nature itself is necessarily restorative. It's just that nature often readily contains all 4 of these essential ingredients for a rested brain. Let's take a look at one of the many psychological experiments that have validated art over the years. One study at the University of California tested people before and after different vacations. Group 1 went backpacking in the wilderness. Group 2 took a city vacation, and Group 3 stayed home. Before and after embarking on their respective activities, the researchers asked all groups to perform a mind-draining proofreading test. Prior to their trips, all groups performed relatively the same. But after their breaks, the wilderness group performed way better on the test, and even weeks later, they reported feeling a boost in their overall mood that the other groups didn't. Short-term fixes also work. When this same University of California team asked test participants to do similar brain-tiring tasks and then walk in nature, walk in the city, or relax inside, the nature walkers won on brain restoration every time. One of the major findings of this study is that just physically being away isn't enough. We need all 4 art ingredients to get the full boost. So what are some practical ways you can utilize these ideas in your busy work life? Tip number 1, advocate for nature-adjacent break spaces at work. Art provides an empirically grounded justification for adding nature elements to the workspace and the necessity not only for breaks, but breaks that can offer employees the ability to experience nature. Even a view of trees can help. Plants, sunlight, or a rooftop garden can all make a difference. Tip number 2. Next time you're running on empty at work, take a lunch break in a park and focus on what you see, hear, and feel, not your inbox. Let your senses take over and give your brain a breather. Tip number 3. Plan vacations not just for fun, but with art's 4 ingredients in mind. Think big, fascinating, and compatible with what you love, whether it's the mountains, a quiet lake, or the woods. Tip number 4. Pressed for time? Try walking meetings outside or outdoor brainstorming sessions. Even a little nature is better than none. So the next time you're wiped out after work, remember, your brain needs a real break, not just another scroll. Get outside, let nature do its thing, and you might just come back sharper, happier, and ready for whatever comes next.